two parts, one being your landing position. Play around with your stance. You can either have a more narrow stance or a wider stance, whatever feels more comfortable for you. From your stance, you're going to come up to what's called perch position. I'm going to hop my feet together, back to center, and lift my back leg up. Now I'm going to land back into that landing position, but with this foot forward instead. And then I just repeat, together and land. The most important thing to remember that you want both of these actions to happen at the same time. So I land my feet at the same time, and I come together at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to look more like you're trying to run in place. So when you're doing this move to the music, with the counts, it's and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So you're landing on every count, and you're together on every half count. So a couple of tips with this movement. When you are landing with both your feet out, make sure to have a slight bend in your knees, especially the front knee, because you don't want to be locked out, because then when you hop back to center, you're going to have to rebend your legs, and it's almost going to give you like an extra little hiccup in your running man. So make sure to land with a bend in your knees so that as soon as you land, you can immediately hop back to that perch position. Boom, boom, boom. Another tip with this, I like to lean a little bit forward with my running man. This puts more weight onto my front foot. It helps me keep that bend in my leg. You'll notice when I am centered, my knee wants to kind of lock out a little bit more. When I'm leaning forward a little bit over this front foot, I also just have more control, and it helps me hop back to center. Another tip with this is to make your bounces or your hops as small as possible. When I'm in my bottom position, when I hop to center, I'm not going to fully hop off the ground. I'm almost going to mix a hop and a slide, because the hop should be just high enough to overcome any friction between your shoes and the surface. So when I come to center, my front foot kind of hops and slides back to this position. Same when you're landing this foot back, make the hop as small as possible. Boom. This will prevent you from getting a very bouncy running man and will make it look a lot more smooth. Last and final tip is to make sure both your feet are as flat as possible. We don't want to be completely elevated on our toes. Otherwise, it's not going to give it that illusion that you are floating. So make sure to keep those feet as flat as possible. Let's do it together. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Start out slow and then work your way up to a faster tempo. So with the T-step, the first thing to practice is your pivoting foot. So that is the foot that is going heel, toe, heel, toe. I'm just picking up my heel, moving it to the side, and then picking up my toe and moving it to the side. When I'm on my left foot, I'm going to the right, heel, toe, heel, toe. On my right foot, I'm going to the left, picking up my heel, toe, heel, toe. Your other foot, all it's doing is tapping every time your heel comes in. So it's 1 and 2 and. So when I bring in my toe, my leg comes back up to this perch position. Heel lands your foot, toe come back up to perch. 1 and 2 and. Couple of tips with the T-step, really build that strength in your leg to be able to pivot to the side with just your leg and not having to lean or twist. Try keeping your torso as straight as possible and just use your foot to pivot to the side. This is all where your motion should come from. That's what's going to give your T-step a very controlled look. With the tapping foot, use it to stabilize yourself and keep your balance. So you don't need to go just like barely touching to the floor. You can use it to stabilize yourself and really put a little bit of weight down. Don't put too much. You don't want to look like you're stepping to the side, but use it as a way to stabilize yourself as you move across the floor. You're gonna have a side that feels more comfortable. Just make sure to practice it evenly on both sides so you don't make that problem even worse. Now with the T-step, you don't just have to tap the same way every time. You don't just have to go like this. You can tap in whatever way you want. You can tap to the side. You can kick out. You can tap forwards. You can tap backwards. You can tap your heel. You can tap your toe. So I could go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could even alternate back and forth, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Play around with it. There's a lot of variation just within this one move, but the key elements to remember is one foot is pivoting heel to toe, and the other foot is tapping on every count. So let's try it together. We'll go 4 this way and 4 back the other way. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Back the other way. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. As always, practice it slow and then work your way up to a faster tempo. What you're going to do is you're going to start out with 5th position, which if you don't know what 5th position is, I want you to start by bringing your heels together, toes pointed out. I'm going to bring my right foot and touch my heel to my toe. So our knees and our toes are pointed outwards. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our back foot and pivot our legs so that our knees and our toes now point inward. So I'm going to bring up my left leg and go and. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into 5th position with my other foot in front. And I'm again going to pivot my knees and my toes out. And then you just repeat. Right leg comes up, knees come in. Drop in front, back into 5th position. And this is the forwards Charleston. If I want to go backwards, instead of picking up my back foot, I'm just going to pick up my front foot. So in this case, my right foot is going to come up and I'm going to pivot in. And then I'm going to drop it back. Left leg comes up, left leg drops back into that 5th position. So from the back, we start here in 5th, and 1, and 2, and 3. Now go backwards, and 1, and 2, and 3. Couple of tips with the Charleston. One is to keep a bend in your knees. If you are completely straight-legged, it's going to look really stiff. The more of a bend you have, the kind of bigger of a shape you're going to create and kind of the bigger it's going to look. The other thing is with most of shuffling, you want to keep your feet flat. But with cutting shapes, you can be more on the balls of your feet. And so when I'm doing the Charleston, I like to stay a little bit elevated. This will again help you keep that bend in your legs and make it look a lot less stiff. So instead of being here and going 1, I go and 1. See how I'm kind of on my toes there? And then the other thing is I like to add a little bit of hop to my Charleston. So instead of just pivoting my feet in and out, I actually kind of hop and pivot out. So I go and. You kind of hear that hop that happened. And then the same thing when I land back in 5th, I hop into position. Hop out, hop in. Hop out, hop in. So it's the difference between pivot, 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 and hop and hop and hop. Well, I just think that gives it a bit more of a shuffling look rather than a swing dancey kind of look. To make your Charleston look even bigger and give it a bigger effect, try swinging your leg out further. So instead of just coming like right here, try swinging your leg out further to give it a bigger look. So let's try it together. We'll do 4 forward and 4 back. 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4 back. 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you are struggling with that transition of going forwards and backwards, practice just staying on one foot and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we start our Polly Pocket or our X step in perch position. From here, I'm going to spread my legs while also twisting and rotating my body like so. So my right leg was up and I twist to the left. Now I'm going to come back up to my perch position, bringing my back leg up, and then I'm going to repeat on the other side. Left leg goes forward and twists to the right, and I land my front foot on its heel. Perch position, and I repeat. Right leg up, land your right leg forward and twist to the left. Come back to perch, left leg comes forward and we twist to the right. build. You can kind of think about it like making an X with your legs. You can also think about it as doing the shaper running man while twisting your body, right? So the shaper running man is like this, but instead of just landing forward, you're now twisting your hips to kind of make that X shape. So tips for the Polly Pocket / X step is to remember that it's all in your hips. I'm not completely rotating my full body, I'm just twisting my lower half, like so. So I try to keep my torso as straight as possible, and then I come back to center. Notice how my torso didn't move much, and then I twist the other direction. You can use your arms also to kind of help you with that twist, kind of help you go like this when you're twisting your lower body. Another tip is to really get momentum with it. This will make the Polly Pocket a lot easier. Use that swinging of your hips to build that momentum. Let's try it together for 1-8 count. We'll go 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. This spin is very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to do the running man while we rotate in a circle, staying centered on one spot. Starting in perch position, you're going to land both your feet out and simultaneously rotate either counterclockwise or clockwise. I'm going to start going counterclockwise, so I'm going to go this way and land my feet out. Then as I come together in perch, I'm going to continue that rotation and rotate as I come to perch, and then I just repeat. Rotate, land in the running man, rotate, perch. Rotate, land, rotate, perch. Rotate, land, rotate, perch. With this spin, make sure to stay centered on the spot that you are spinning, right? So I'm not moving over here, I'm not traveling with it at all. I always stay right at this spot and stay centered over it as I spin in a circle. It's also important to make sure that your shoulders stay in line and square with your body. It shouldn't be like this, or like this, or like this. I'm always facing the same way my feet land. Just rotate everything at once as you go in a circle. So let's do this spin counterclockwise for 8 counts. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can have this spin take as many running mans as you want. So you can have it take a lot and make the spin a little bit slower. So something like this. Or you can rotate more with each step and therefore take less steps in order to make it go quicker. So something like 1, 2,